Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, and I'm going to be doing a tag. This is the April Showers book tag or the Rainy Day book recommendations book tag. I was tagged by Suey's Book Banter, and the tag was created by Sabrina at Beyond the Book Reviews. I know that it isn't April anymore, but I am behind on these tags and I am getting caught up. So I'm a couple weeks behind. It also rained most of the weekend and it rained all through Mother's Day. And while it is not raining right now, it is supposed to rain for much of this week. So this seemed like as good a time as any to do this tag. So here are the prompts. The first one, share a book with water on the cover. So I picked The Swimmers by Julie Otsuka. And you can see a swimming pool on the cover. This is a tale of a mother and a daughter. And the mother is increasingly suffering from dementia, and yet she finds great solace and comfort in lap swimming in the pool. So that was the first one that came to my mind when I saw the prompt for water on the cover. Number two, what's a classic novel you would like to curl up on the couch with? I'm thinking 19th century novels. That's what I think of when I think of curling up on the couch with a cup of tea under a warm blanket, especially when it's cold and rainy, like it was this whole last weekend. So, two that came to mind right off the bat, Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. This is my Norton Critical Edition that goes way back. This is over 40 years old, this edition. And a newer edition of Penguin Classics, Charles Dickens' David Copperfield, one of my favorite Dickens novels. Okay, number three, share a scary book you would read during a rainstorm. I have the perfect scary book. I have this Signet Classics edition of multiple scary books. This edition contains Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and an introduction by none other than Stephen King. Number four, what's a good book recommendation for rainy days? I love the Louise Penny mysteries, the Inspector Gamache series. So I just took one off the shelf here for this. They're not exactly cozy mysteries, but they all take place around this, usually in the same town, Three Pines in Canada. And she deals often with the same characters. They recur throughout the series, and they all live in Three Pines. And that's just something that I think about when, I don't know, it's a comfort read, I guess. So cold, rainy day, Louise Penny sounds good. And then another one that comes to mind that I reread frequently, and that's Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. And I've reread this book more times than I can count because I used to teach it, and so I reread it every year as I was teaching it, and I've been rereading it since I was 18 years old. I think that's when I read it for the first time. Okay, next. What two characters would you like to spend a rainy day with? I'm going to go back to Louise Penny, and I love the people in the community that she has created. So I just have a couple other Louise Pennies to show. but she has these characters that are in most of the books. There's Clara and Peter Morrow. There's Inspector Gamache and his wife Reine Marie. There's Gabri and Olivier, who own a little bistro in town. There's Ruth Zardo, and I just love these characters. So I could hang out with any of them on a rainy day. Okay, number 6. Share a book that has blue on the cover. Well, The Swimmers certainly has blue on the cover. And then I just pulled off my shelf Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. A lot of blue there too. It's kind of a cool cover. Okay. What book has a rainy setting at some point? There are so many, and in all of these books that I'm going to talk about, the rain is actually it's more than just the setting. It has an important role in the story. The first one that I thought of was Shakespeare's King Lear. There is a heartbreaking scene in this play where Lear, believing he has been forsaken by his daughters, runs out into the wilderness, and he ends up being alone. He's not alone, because his trusty fool, his jester, goes with him, but he's out in the elements, and a storm is raging, and it's just a very, very famous speech that he makes. Blow winds and crack your cheeks, rage blow, you cataracts and hurricanos, spout till you have drenched our steeples, drown the cocks, you sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers of oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head, and thou, all-shaking thunder, strike flat the thick rotundity of the world. Crack nature's molds, all Germans spill at once, that makes ingrateful man. And he's losing his mind. He's really mad at this point. And the fool is trying to urge him to go back, to seek shelter, to return to his daughters, and then eventually Kent comes into this scene, and he leads them off and brings them into a hovel out in the elements for shelter, and it's a very, very powerful and moving scene in sort of in the story of Lear's kind of horrible mental breakdown. And then I also thought of another book that Angelia and I at Read and Reread have decided we're going to see how many different ways we can work The Catcher in the Rye into our videos. This is a favorite book in both of our lives, and there's a wonderful, very, very powerful scene near the end of the novel when Holden is at Central Park with his beloved little sister Phoebe, and she is riding on a carousel, and he is just filled with emotion and love for her. All through the book, his quest has been to find a way to protect the innocence of little children. And as he's watching her go around and around on the carousel, it starts to pour on him. And I just want to read a little bit of that. Boy, it began to rain like a bastard in buckets. I swear to God, all the parents and mothers and everybody went over and stood right under the roof of the carousel so they wouldn't get soaked to the skin or anything. But I stuck around on the bench for quite a while. I got pretty soaking wet, especially my neck and my pants. My hunting hat really gave me quite a lot of protection in a way, but I got soaked anyway. I didn't care though. I felt so damn happy all of a sudden. The way old Phoebe kept going around and around, I was damn near bawling. I felt so damn happy, if you want to know the truth. I don't know why. It was just that she looked so damn nice, the way she kept going around and around in her blue coat and all. God, I wish you could have been there. So he's having this moment of appreciation for her innocence, and there's somehow this sense that even though he's getting soaked to the skin, and he's on the verge of really a breakdown himself, there's almost like a cleansing aspect to the rain in this novel. And then I also thought of my favorite Hemingway novel, which is A Farewell to Arms. And rain permeates this novel. It's not a positive symbol. It's associated with death and dying, but it runs through all of the major events of the novel. The novel opens with rain and a cholera that has come with the rain, and 7,000 soldiers have died, and then the rain just continues all the way through the book. Okay. What book would you not mind using as an umbrella? I don't have an answer for this. I would never ever use a book for an umbrella. So I don't have any books that I could answer that question with. So I'm going to pass on that one. Number 9, which character would you like to share an umbrella with? So I'm going to come back to a book that I just reviewed the other day, and that's Samantha or Sam Montgomery in T. Kingfisher's A House with Good Bones. And this was MJ's recommendation to me at Reading This Life for horror mayhem, and I loved the book, and I loved the character of Samantha, and she's kind of my new literary friend. So if she were out in the rain, I would share my umbrella with her. Okay. And then number 10, share a novel with a dry beginning but amazing ending. And I can't find my copy of this, but I know that I have it. This is Stieg Larsson's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I remember struggling with the opening of that novel and actually giving up, just saying, I don't know what the big deal about this book is because I can't get into this at all. And a dear, dear friend of mine and colleague said, just fight through it. You have to get through it. You're not going to be sorry. And so I did. I went back and I can't even remember what it was about the beginning, but I just remember it was slow to start and I wasn't getting at all what the big deal was about this book. And I did go back and I ended up loving the novel and all the subsequent ones as well. Okay, that's the April Showers book tag / rainy day book recommendation book tag. And the last prompt is to tag some others. So anybody watching this, if you haven't done this tag and this is of interest to you, I hope you will consider yourself tagged and that you will do the tag. forgive me. I'm going to tag a bunch of people. Please forgive me if you have already been tagged on this, or if you've done this tag and I somehow missed it. But I'm trying to tag people that I think haven't done this one yet. So I'm tagging Renee at Beyond Books. I'm tagging Gavin at Genre Books, James at Quaint and Curious Volumes, Debs at Rayner Reads Stuff, Mary Andrea at Books and Bocadillos, Julie at Mysteries and Mountains, Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club, David at David Novak Reads Poetry, Joshua at Joshua Crebo Reads, and Sue Jackson at Sue Jackson DE. Is that Delaware? Okay, so I think that's it for this tag. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.